Welcome back to Teaching Orchestra. We're back in the teaching lab, and today we're going to be working on pull-ups. Now, these left-hand pull-ups are critical for violinists and violists to learn. For cellos and bass players, they're less useful, but it's still, something for them to do. If you have a sectional coach, if you can take them out of class while they're working on it, or if you have a consultant that can come in, that might be better to do. If they're doing it along with the class, it's not going to kill them. It's just not particularly as useful as it is for violins and violas because of the elbow position and getting tight with the left hand. So we're going to try some pull-ups today. So let's put our instruments up in playing position on the D string. Okay, and we're going to put our second fingers down, and we're going to practice extending our elbow like our elbow's being pulled down to the floor and extend all the way down. And then we're going to practice pulling up to a tabletop. So all the way down and all the way up to the tabletop. Okay? Now, what's happening here is as we come all the way down, you can see how the side of the index finger and the first knuckle of the index finger is coming closer to the neck. And as we build up to the tabletop, we're increasing the space here. We're increasing that little gap in between the first finger knuckle and the neck. Now, cellos don't typically have this problem, nor do bass players when they're playing. You don't see a lot of them squeezing the necks when they play, and hopefully that's because their thumb is in the right spot. But for violinists and violists, their thumbs are over on the side, and so squeezing tends to be part of the habit. Another issue that we run into is poor setup. If we see poor setup, we're going to also see squeezing because they're trying to hold their instruments in place rather than have it supported by the body. Okay, so we're going to put our second fingers down. We're going to practice some pull-ups, okay, with the beat. 1 and 2 and ready and go and down, up, 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 down, up. Good. And what this is doing is it's creating relaxation in the hand. It's creating that openness and that space that we need in order to make our vibrato work. If we're gripping too hard and we try to vibrate, the instrument is going to be pulled into our throats and it's going to be very uncomfortable. And they're going to say, ouch, this really hurts when I play with vibrato. Well, it shouldn't. We should be able to have that relaxation in the hand and be able to move the hand freely. All right, so we're going to do some peer accountability. We're going to do some coaching. We're going to have the odd players. So odd, even, odd, even, odd. We're going to have the odd players go first, and then the even players are going to coach, and then we're going to flip it around. So here's the things that we're going to be looking for. And you need to make sure that you tell your students what to look for, because they may not know. Okay, so the first thing that you want to look for is that they're going up and down. That those should be the motions, that the hand is coming down and coming back up and coming down and coming back up, not side to side or all over creation. It should just be going up and down. We also want to keep an eye on the elbow and make sure that the elbow is stationary, that the motion is coming from the elbow, sort of like a regular pull-up, and that the elbow's not moving all around either. Wrist too. We've got to make sure that we get the straight wrists and that the wrists aren't flopping all over the place. Okay, we want to, again, make sure that they're with the beat because that helps develop consistency. And we also want to make sure that we're maintaining good handshake. Okay, so everybody, let's get into position. Odd players. 2 and ready and go. And down, up, 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 down, up. All right, talk about it. Tell them what you see.
So now you're kind of giving your wrist side, and so just isolate the wrist kind of dressing like that. Because you're kind of like, well, how can you go like that? And you go up and down instead of.
All right, go ahead and wrap it up. Now let's do it again. Try to pick 1 or 2 things they said and get a little bit better. Ready? 2 and set and go and down, up, 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 down, up. All right, give me some final thoughts. And again, just like the finger rolls and just like the finger flexors, you can increase the tempo or increase the division of the beat so that they're moving more quickly if you want to give them more of a challenge. All right. How many people Okay, let's flip it around. We haven't done it the second time, right? All right, let's flip it around now. Even number players are gonna try it. Odd number players are gonna coach. Uh-oh. Well, that's all right. You're coaching. Don't worry about it. Okay, 2 and ready and go and down, up, 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 down, up. All right, talk about it.
So they get more off on the tabletop.
All right, wrap up your comments. All right, try to pick one thing to get, or 1 or 2 things to get a little bit better at. And we're going to try again. Ready? 1 and 2 and ready and go and down, up, 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 down, up. All right, talk about it. Make some final comments.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, sometimes you're going to have that when you're doing your coaching. It's just like dead quiet. You know, either they're doing it perfectly, or they've run out of things to say, or whatever. And that's where you might need to step in and say, "All right, what are you seeing?" And just start asking questions, putting people on the spot, and try to stimulate the class a little bit more. This is especially going to be the case if you have a class right after lunch. You know, they're just done with lunch and they might not be too active, and you got to use your energy to rile them up. Okay, so show me on a scale of 1 to 5 on your hands, how comfortable are you with pull-ups? Okay, great. And raise your hand if you got a little bit better at pull-ups today. Okay, kind of. All right, good. So that's the pull-up sequence. The next thing we're going to do is more applicable to cello basses, and it's going to be finger tappers. So we'll see you in the next video.